The next day, Yin awoke to the sunlight hitting her face. Then came an Uraka and prepared her a bath. After that, she dressed Yin up. The brunette then brought breakfast and let Yin eat. "All right," the royalty said after finishing her breakfast. "I'll go and socialize and to see who can join the coop." Uraka gave her a mix of nervousness and encouraging smile. Soon Yin was off prancing around the hallway where a lot of nobles gathered. She paused her step to get a better look at each of their faces. Yin had decided to get the court in her good side first. "There you are." Turning around, Yin looked to see Mina walking up to her. Following her is Lady Yayurozu. They curtsied as soon as they stopped before Yin. Then Lady Mina approached her with a beaming smile. You have to come with us," she said. "The weather is so great, so well to eat breakfast outside." "Will you join us, Your Majesty?" Lady Yayurozu asked politely. Yin thought this was a good opportunity to see if she can convince one of them to join. "Why, of course. And please, call me Yin." The woman beamed, and Mina pulled her gleefully. Indeed, the weather was great. Yin had found the current early morning breeze relaxing, and she basked in the sunlight. "You look a lot better now," Yayurozu remarked as she matched her pace with Yin. "I reckon I do." Yin smiled slightly. Mina kept leading them outside, and now they passed the gardens. That's when Yin saw a bunch of servants working under a large tree. Cloths were laid out as well as baskets of food. The servants are setting everything up, and then Yin noticed that the other ladies are there as well. Some of them are strolling around with a servant holding a parasol to shade them from the sun. Some are simply waiting for the servant to finish. "Hello!" Mina was first to run to greet them. Yin and Yayurozu followed after her. Then the ladies saw Yin. They curtsied. The other ladies started to gather as well. "Your Majesty!" Lady Cami showed up and curtsied. Yin acknowledged her with a nod. "It's good to have you back." Sarcasm dripped in Lady Cami's voice as she said that. "I feel very welcomed," Yin responded. Soon the servants finishing preparing everything and the ladies were allowed to eat. They all sat down and chatted. Yin took several bites from her food. Despite being full from breakfast earlier, she must do well if she wants to get along with everyone in the court. "Yeah, Momo, you eat a lot," Mina said to Yayurozu, not in an insulting way, though. Yin looked at Yayurozu beside her and smiled to see how healthy her body looks. "Well," the raven-haired woman started, "I must eat very well because my quirk turns liquid into atoms. Liquidize into atoms to create things." Yin's eyes lit up a bit upon the mention of her quirk. "Your quirk allows you to create things?" "Mm-hmm." She nodded. "Although I can only create things that are not alive." "That's a very compatible quirk." "Thank you, Yin. I've heard about your quirk, and I must say it's confident, too. It's balanced. You are able to destroy and repair things?" Yin bashfully smiled and muttered a word of gratitude. "How about you, Lady Mina?" The pinkette grinned. "I can generate acid from my body." "That's amazing as well." Mina nodded. Her grin widened and a blush formed on her cheeks. After the meal, cakes and tea were served. Once again, the ladies ate their fill. Yin overjoyed as much the tea she could, as well as her conversation with Mina and Yayurozu. Along all the ladies she met in the court, they were the ones she liked. After tea, the ladies went on about their business. The others went to a stroll, while some remained to chat. Yayurozu decided to remain to refresh some more tea, while Yin decided to enjoy the pleasant breeze. She moved away from the others and sat on the other side of a tree. I could stay like this forever," Mina sighed as she lay down on the grass beside Yin. "I could use this piece as well," Yin hummed. "So?" Mina sat up and faced Yin. "How are you and Bakugou?" Yin blinked. "We're fine." There was a slight pause before Mina sighed again. I see. Now that they're talking about her relationship with her husband, Yin is brought back to her conversation with Midnight from last night. You and Bakugou must produce an heir. Yin remembered how Midnight pressed the concern onto her as if it was a grave matter. Well, indeed it was. But everyone says that Yin has two jobs. One, support her husband, and two, to produce an heir. A male one, to be exact. Yin had failed at first, and her cope is the proof of that. And that latter is something Yin has to avoid. She can't get pregnant. Her father made it clear that if the king dies without an heir, the throne will go to the queen. At this point, a child is a threat to Yin. Besides, she doesn't think she is ready to be a mother yet. Not when her and her husband despite each other. And she has a coup to start. Have you and Kirishima thought of having a child yet? Yin asked. Mina paused for a while before her lips quivered into a small smile. Not yet. Why not? Well, I find that I'm not ready yet. Mina shrugged. Even though most married couples tend to have children immediately, he and I want to cherish in our marriage for a while. Is that why you're happy with him? Mina nodded. Yes. Marriage changes your perspective. We want to get to know each other more deeply and intimate, to strengthen our connection. That is nice. Yin looked down. Why? Mina suddenly shifted closer to Yin. Don't tell me you and Bakugou are thinking of having a child. Yin scoffed. Not us. We don't think we want to. The court wants an heir. Ah, they're pressuring you now, huh? Yin nodded as he answered. Well, if you're not ready yet, then don't, Mina firmly said. It's you who will carry that child in the end, not them. You can decide when you're ready. Besides, I heard that giving birth is hellish. My sister nearly died from giving birth to her first child, Yin randomly said. Mina whipped her head to look at Yin. Yikes. That must be traumatizing for her from having more kids. No. Mere dead didn't stop her from having 3 more. Yin saw Mina cringe in fear. Oh! Mina suddenly jumped. She looked at the distance and Yin followed her sight. There, she saw her husband with Kirishima, Kaminari, and Sero, walking to their direction. Mina started waving to them and Kirishima half jogged together. He bowed to Yin and then stopped in front of them. Kaminari and Sero soon arrived and did the same. Yin looked at Bakugou behind them to see that he was glaring at her. Yin glanced back, but then looked away, not practically keen on having everyone see the tension between them. What are you doing, love? Kirishima asked his wife. It's a pleasant morning, so we had breakfast here, Mina answered. Ah, everyone? Yaoyorozu suddenly appeared. Did you went out to shoot some targets? I wish I joined you. Yumomo, Kaminari greeted the raven-haired woman enthusiastically. Him and Sero formed a conversation with Yaoyorozu. Oi. Yin heard Bakugou. She turned to him with an unreadable face. Bakugou is half glaring at her. She looks like he has something to say. What is it? He opened his mouth to speak. Meet me tonight. I'll have a talk with you. I don't want to talk to him. Yin paced back and forth in her chambers while Uraka looked hopelessly. You have to, or else he'll get mad and would make your life a living hell. Yin stopped. He already did, she muttered. I fear that he may have a clue of what we're planning. Why do you say so? Uraka asked. He never asked me to talk to him. Even if he did, it would always be Kirishima who pursued him. I don't even think Kirishima was the one who told him to talk to me. Well, yes, but that's just a possibility. Have you ever wondered if what he wanted to talk about is the current concern of the court? Yin looked at Uraka with a slight widened eyes. She then let a small breath and closed her eyes. She shook her head disapprovingly and scoffed herself from forgetting that. Right, there's that, she pointed. Well, I very much hope so. That's an issue too, but I can't be bothered by it right now. Uraka crossed her arms. Well, you have a deal with it soon, Your Majesty, and if ever His Majesty wanted to talk to you about the heir problem, then I suggest you play along with it. Are you suggesting I should get pregnant? Uraka immediately shook her head. No, that's not really necessary. I don't find it necessary at this time as well. Well, yeah, that's important now that you have to play along with him. Earn his trust. Make him believe you're not up to something such as trying to overthrow him. You can't afford to be suspicious, Your Majesty, Uraka explained. Of course. Then Uraka spoke once again. His Majesty is one of those paranoid kings. They're afraid someone would steal their crown from them. And ever since that happened to his first wife, his paranoia worsens. Hence why he tried to kill you last time. Yes, I hear you, Uraka, Yen sighed. Uraka sheepishly smiled. Make him think you're agreeing to what he wants, but do not actually comply to him. I got it. Make him trust me. Don't be too suspicious. Agree, but don't comply. Uraka nodded satisfactorily. Thank you once again, Uraka. I'm always at your service, Your Majesty. Not a moment later, Yin found herself walking all the way to their private dining room and past many nobles and had a smile to greet them. Her stomach flipped as she came face to face with the double doors again. It didn't help that upon her arrival, the guards immediately opened the door and Yin had to step inside. The one thing that met her as soon as she got inside is the glaring eyes of her husband, burning holes into her skull. Sit. Yin sighed. Good evening to you as well. She suppressed herself and sat on the other end of the table. At least, with this, he's a few distance away from her. I will assume you heard those extras having a fuss about, he started. So, it's about that, Yin thought, finally letting the tension off her body. She's so grateful it's only that. Word travels fast in your court, Your Majesty, Yin said, and saw him flinch at the way she addressed him. Yeah, so, I've heard about it. That saves me the trouble from breaking it to you then. Yin hummed. But what exactly should we do? Wait for a fucking stork to deliver a brat? He sarcastically remarked. What else do you think? You're a grown-ass woman. You know what we should do. Enlighten me. Of course, Yin knew what he was talking about. He looked like too embarrassed to even say so. Yin at least wanted him to creak. Bakugou looked at her in disbelief and clenched his fist. He looked like he's ready to jump on her, but he stopped himself, thinking that they won't be able to get anywhere if he were to lash out now. One night. I'll spend one night with you. That's all. Those motherfuckers want a kid, so we'll give them a kid. You sound like you don't want a child. Why should you agree with them? Well, it's a damn kid. My kid. An heir. Do you think I don't want to have an heir? Yen forced a smile. Well, I guess you're right. As monarch, we can't let our bloodline die. Damn right we can't, he said. There was a pause. It looked like Bakugou was waiting for Yin to say something, or to plan their reconciliation, so Yin decided to speak. Are you sure about this, though? She tilted her head. It's obvious that you hate me, and it's obvious that I hate you too. Are you sure it's all right for our first time with each other? Yin planned to stall by expressing her lack of evidence and communicating. She prays that her message would somewhat reach Bakugou, one that tells she's not ready yet. Huh? By judging by his reaction, he didn't seem to have gotten it. The fuck do you mean by first time? Yin raised a brow. She immediately recalled Uraka telling her that Bakugou is still untouched. Well, aren't you? She could not finish her question. Suddenly Bakugou let out a small scoff that it turned to him, laughing slightly, almost mockingly, from sheer amusement. Holy shit! Do you actually think I'm a virgin? Yin tensed, her mouth agape from disbelief. Was Uraraka's speculation wrong? Bakugou just stopped revealing in his amusement. Just so you know, I'm not a fucking wuss. I've had some women before, even when I was married. Right, she gulped. You really don't know anything, he shook his head. Yin decided she had humiliated herself enough. Well, if that's all you have to talk about, then I think we're finished. Bakugou said nothing. Yin turned to him but refused to meet his eyes. I'll be honest. I don't think I want to have a child yet. You have to, woman. It's your job. Yin's fist enclosed, and she kept them locked tightly. She sighed. I'll tell you when I'm ready. With that said, Yin turned her back on him and walked out. Upon leaving his sight, Yin had to stop and suddenly had the urge to hit something. The humility was overwhelming. Finally, Yin continued to walk back to her chambers and plan on how to exactly deal with her humiliation.